Hit it. It'll start sparking when you get it right. There you go. Look.
Hey everyone, my name is Greg and welcome to Wintergreen. We're on about 60 acres of land here in the West Virginia mountains and we are completely off the grid here. I've been working on this property for about 4 or 5 years now. I figured it's about time I actually start documenting the process because I really want to share this with a lot of people at home who might have similar interests or just find this entertaining. So we're learning a lot on our own out here and trying to learn how to be self-reliant and just kind of develop this property over time. So I'll show you guys around, I'll show you what I've done so far, and you guys let me know what you think. This is the first update. So here's my favorite project that I've had so far. This is a pond. And as you can see, this is what it looked like beforehand. I kind of came in here with a tractor and built this humongous, like 6-foot dam. I'll give you guys a better look down here. And as you can see, we've got water going over the top. I tried a bunch of different techniques to create like pipes and whatnot to have an outflow, but every single time they would fail over time. Like we'd get a big storm and it'd take it right out. So we eventually settled with this design here, just like a spillway. And as you can see, it's working pretty well. The pond itself is not linered, just the spillway itself, just that way we don't get erosion as it flows over the top. So it works pretty well. It's been here for about, I'd say about 1.5 years to almost 2 years. So it's holding in there pretty good. And yeah, I'm pretty happy. We're about ready to cover this up now. I wanted to give it like a year or two to see how it would fare against some big storms. And now that we know that it's surviving pretty well, we'll cover her up and make it all nice and decorated. As you can see, we've got some rock work that we've been putting in here, and it's coming along. So it's probably my biggest project currently, and I've had to collect all of these rocks and hand place them all the way around the pond. I'm working on a little waterfall feature over there. Got some natural benches. We've cut in some logs, stacked them like Lincoln logs, and it's turning out amazing. I got a couple fish in there actually. Just did a test run and dumped some 100 feeder fish in there. I thought they all died, and a year later I found like they were like 4 times the size. So they're doing all right, and I'm not feeding them at all. I wanted to have a pond that was, you know, low maintenance, that it takes care of itself. So we're getting close. Eventually I'll put in some sunfish or tilapia. I don't even know yet. I'm still let me know if you have any ideas. But I definitely want to have, you know, a good stocking of fish in here, maybe some koi for decorative purposes. But right now we're sticking with the cheap feeder fish, see if they survive a little bit longer. But right now they're hunkered down. I've seen a couple of them in the bottom and they're doing all right so far. So we'll see when it warms back up how many we still have left. Here are those benches I was telling you about. They're big logs. I'd use a tractor to jack them up to get these little Lincoln logs underneath. And they're pretty nice, and making a little picnic area so you can look at the pond, feed the fish. Across I've got there's a stump there. We had to take out a huge tree. I didn't plan ahead. And I thought the tree would maybe make it. It was actually a lot shallower over there. We dug the pond deeper, the water. We brought the dam up so the water level rose. Eventually it took out that tree, so we had to take it out, and that was pretty scary. I wish I had film of that. I was chainsawing in the water in the wind, and it was a big tree. Actually, you can see parts of it behind the side-by-side over there. But figured I'd try and turn it into some kind of water feature. I'm testing out a little solar-powered pump, very small one, just to get a concept of whether it works or not. And then we'll probably route up some piping to the top of that. Instead of using a fountain, we'll just have it flow over the rocks. That's the idea. So we're getting in there. We're working on this side over here now. Been painstakingly picking up boulder by boulder and carrying them across the property and placing them over here. So it's coming along. It's kind of hard to see with all the leaves on the ground right now, but I think it's coming along really nice. I'm pretty happy with the water right now. It's usually pretty clear in the winter. We gotta work on it in the summer when it's got a whole bunch of algae and stuff currently, but we'll get some plants in there and work on the ecosystem, make it a little more balanced. So that's the update for the pond. We'll move on to another part of the property that we call the campsite. Welcome to the next part of the property. This is what we call the campsite. Let's get out of the side-by-side here. So as you can see, we have a huge open space here. I basically turned this whole area into a parking lot. There was tons of trees. This was all forest. As you can see back here, that's what it looked like beforehand. We came in here, cleared it all out. I basically graded the land, laid some gravel down, and it works really well for just, bringing guests in and having parking spots and whatnot. This giant structure behind us here is the dome, is what we call it. It's pretty straightforward. It is a 30-foot by 80-foot fabric tent for all intents and purposes, and it's been amazing. It was very difficult to put up. We had to clear the property there, cut down a ton of trees, and put that up ourselves, which was a challenging task. We had like people standing on the forks of our tractor up in the air, putting bolts in to put this thing together. So that was quite the project. And then over here we've got our 5-star resort. You can take a look. This is what we call the hut. Very creative as well. We're not too good on naming things here, but this is where I stay. So we got a couple cots, all my clothes and food and water, so I can stay up here for as long as I want. And no electricity in here, so just solar powered lights and a few things like a little propane powered heater. But yeah, this is a pretty comfortable little place. A little sneak peek, some toys that we'll play with at some point later. And what else we got in here? We got a little stove, chainsaw, just pretty much anything you could possibly need. We keep up in here. Got some hammocks. It's our first aid kit. Figured that would be pretty smart to have, considering all the dumb things that we could do here without any experience. Figure one of these days we might need it might come in handy. We'll see. All right, so that's that. Here's the rest over here. So we got a little picnic table. Put a couple of solar powered lights here and there, and you can see why we call it the campsite. It's very primitive, but I've been cutting down a lot of trees, like I was saying, and I've been storing them so we can use them for firewood and whatnot. So these are all like 4-foot planks, 4-foot bolts of wood, and then over here we've got some much smaller pieces cut up for actual fire use. Got some seating, and just built a giant fire ring, which is coming in handy as well. We've got a lot of debris and brush that we need to burn up occasionally. So this is the spot. It's pretty comfortable. I love the way it feels. It's very relaxing and calming. So whenever I've been working all day, I come up here and throw up a hammock and just relax. So that's the campsite, and I will continue to move on to the next spot. One other thing I want to show you while we're still here. This is inside the dome. So we built a solar powered bathroom, which is insane. since we're out in the middle of nowhere, we've got no electricity, no hookups to anything. So we built this structure. My dad is an engineer, so he's pretty good with the wiring and whatnot. We figured everything out. But we've got everything you could need in here. This is a toilet. We built a shower with hot and cold water. It's not hooked up right now because it's winter. We don't want to bust any pipes, but this whole thing has come together. We just want some curtains, make it simple. And you can see here, your charge controller, it's got 100%. So one panel powers this thing really well. And we've got some lights and everything. So this is the bathroom, and it's been very nice to have. We put in a septic to run this too, so it actually does go to a septic. And we've got flushable water, running water, because we use these gravity-fed tanks. We pump some water up there with a generator, and then you know, we can just run the water to the sinks, to the shower, or whatever, whenever we want it. Works out pretty well. All right, guys, so this here is the entry point to the property. Coming in down this long road here, and it forks off into two different roads. And this is the original road that we had put in. And as you can see, you probably can't see with the camera, but it gets insanely steep. I mean, terrifyingly steep. It is so steep that, you know, you pretty much need four-wheel drive to get up it. Occasionally, if you get enough momentum, you can launch yourself up there. But I'm trying to put in another road this way to go way down the property and hook back around. And I'll give you guys a quick tour of me driving down that road so you can see what it looks like. But that is a work in progress. It is all mud. I still need to work on water, you know, and figuring out how to, you know, route the water runoff down the hill to avoid just making a mud bath in the road. So it's a work in progress. Let me know if you got any advice. I'm thinking about putting just a trench like down the whole length on the inside edge of the road, and then a couple like French drains with some pipes or something like that to run it across the road. But that's where we're at, and I will give you a quick tour. All right, so we made it to the next part of the property here. This is the house site. So we would clear out probably an acre or two here. And then this would be your view out the back of the house. So lots of hardwoods and about 180-degree view of the surrounding hills off this peninsula here. This is all on the property here, so definitely be nice and insulated, and I think it would be a gorgeous spot to put the house. So that's pretty much it. There's not much going on here yet. We haven't cleared anything out. It's just kind of plans, and I think this is probably one of my favorite spots for the house. So let me know what you guys think. right, we made it to the final part of the property that we worked on so far. So this is actually our shooting range. So I put in a 100-yard berm way down there. I'm not sure if you can see that pretty well, but this is kind of where we have our fun, and long term I'm working on a 300-yard range as well, so I'm sure you'll see some more of that in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for joining, and hopefully you'll be interested to follow along in the progression here. We've got a ton of projects that I can't wait to start and get going on. And I think now that we finally have an update on where we're at, it'll be cool to see the changes over the years, and hopefully you guys can voice your opinion on what you think we should do next, and maybe we'll come up with some cool ideas. We've got plenty of property that we haven't even shown you yet, so there's plenty of opportunity to build and create, and we can do whatever we want here. We're on our own, so let me know what you think, and look forward to seeing you in the future.